Hey, this is Kat of Kattalestv, and there's been so much going on in 2019, but one of the big stories that's going on right now is Wendy Williams. Now, a lot of people like Wendy Williams. I'm neutral. I've met Wendy Williams a long time ago during Dancing with the Stars when I used to shoot the show. And I remember her husband, a very big burly man who was hanging around everywhere she went, and I just got a very strange vibe off of him. But one of the things that's been sticking in my mind right now is that there's really two big stories, R. Kelly and Wendy Williams. And both of them have this pimp mentality control issue going on. And I've noticed that there's a lot of similarities and some cross references going on. And as the rumors spread about abusive relationships and rumors and people making money off of the story, it kind of fits with the whole gossip rumor mill. And there's a lot of very, very talented bloggers out there that I wasn't aware of, that I've been checking out some of their stories. And some of them are very funny, very talented, and they seem to have the scoop. They seem to know really what's going on because people are giving them information straight up. One of the things I've been thinking of recently is that if remotely half the stories in regards to Wendy Williams is true, the show needs to be canceled. And I also think that the network or the company that's doing that show, that's producing it, I'm not talking about Wendy Williams, I'm talking about the people higher than her that control the show and hire the crew and everything like that. If they're not making money, if they're losing money off the show right now, then in most businesses, they would end that problem. Now, on the flip side, if they're using this controversy to build interest in a show, that might be going on too. Who knows? But the mean-spiritedness that Wendy Williams made a living off of, like, how long can that last? And furthermore, it seems like I was talking about before, some of the very talented bloggers that seem to be on the pulse of what's going on. One's called Love B. Scott. And I even noticed when I started looking at old clips of Wendy Williams, she references L.B. Scott, Love B. Scott, a lot in regards to her scoops. So it seems that a lot of these people that are not as famous as Wendy Williams are doing the legwork for Wendy Williams's tea. You know what I'm saying? So it's a typical thing that happens in big business. A person who's not famous and not as powerful is doing the legwork, and the celebrity or the power person is taking all the credit. So in my mind, Love B. Scott should get his own show. Wendy Williams should be canceled. If her husband is beating on her, allegedly, as rumors say, and then she's been preaching for so long about other people's businesses and other people's relationships, then she needs to take time off and get the help that she needs. I remember seeing old clips when Wendy would cry about her own addiction and, talking about Whitney Houston and how much, Whitney was still using. And the fact that now Wendy Williams is or was going on her television show, not being able to speak properly, seeming to be under the influence of prescription drugs or whatever, it's unprofessional. And if you're going to sit there and preach about people and talk about their addiction and you're coming on TV wasted, whether it's prescription drugs or not, that's unprofessional and that ruins your brand. Now, I know some people like this kind of stuff where people are acting the fool and, you know, doing stuff for drama, but business people, unless they're working for somebody like TMZ, they don't like that stuff. They want a professional person working on camera, doing a great job, bringing in the viewership. Now, the funny thing that's happening is everyone's talking about Wendy Williams, and the delay of the show is supposed to start back up on the 14th, which is next week. So the delay of the show and the rumors about the baby, the side chick. If you guys don't know the story, allegedly, supposedly, Wendy Williams' husband has been having a long-term affair with a woman that is now allegedly, supposedly pregnant. There was a house involved, there was a condo involved, and now supposedly those assets are being sold, and the alleged baby mama has been moved, I believe, to the south, so the Daily Mail and other people on the story don't get pictures of the budgeting belly. And, you know, if it's true, they're trying to keep the story on the DL. But again, how are you going to sit there and make millions of dollars? I mean, I don't know how much Wendy Williams makes, but making all that money on TV almost, you know, every day of the week, whether it be in syndication or live or whatever, and also on YouTube, how are you going to preach all that stuff and you're not living the truth? Now, a lot of people are saying she needs to go up on her show and address her story. But does she have the courage to really tell the truth? Or does she want to live in that mirage that everything is fine? And I don't know if she says Hunterville, whatever. That's the thing I can't stand about the Hollywood clique. You know, these people make a lot of money, yet a lot of them are gangsters, straight up gangsters and pimps. And if her husband is beating on her and has this like side chick on the side, and that she's pregnant, supposedly there was another chick too, not necessarily pregnant, but another chick on the side. That's just pimp, you know, pimp ass mentality, you know. And Wendy acting like she has the perfect marriage when she doesn't. Sort of like Melania and Donald Trump. You know, some people do whatever they got to do because it's more important for them to look cool on social media than to have a real relationship. That's one reason why I cannot stand social media when everyone's acting fake and acting like their life is so perfect. My life is not perfect, and I never would want to profess that it is. Trust. The funny thing is, most of y'all don't want to know the truth because you give a thumbs down to videos where someone's actually telling you the truth. And the thing about the same people that love Wendy Williams are like some of the same people that love R. Kelly, some of the same people that love Cat Williams and Bill Cosby, and never wanted to see any of the facts of repeated bad criminal behavior. You said, oh, I think that person's funny, I want to go to their comedy shows, or oh, I watched his show, he could never do what these women are saying, or oh, I like his music, you can't tell me nothing. It's the same type of mentality which protects predators. So, you know, some of these people need to check themselves. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I don't have much sympathy for Wendy Williams, because if she's doing all that preaching, you know, and then she's back on drugs, and if she's such on her high horse that she thinks that prescription drugs aren't as bad as street drugs, then she's got a serious problem. But regardless of which, when you're coming on television and you're slurring your words and you can't pronounce things on a teleprompter, and you supposedly have a hairline fracture, which is making you hide your arm underneath your shirt, and you can only sit down. Like, what the hell are you trying to convey to the public? Like, why not just take 3 weeks off or a month off? Why go to work? Unless your pimp is making you work or your ego is making you work. I mean, it gets a little strange. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know when I was injured, I went back to work because I didn't want anyone to think anyone would stop me from working. So I don't know what's going on with Wendy, but her eyes look funny. If you look at the old videos from the last couple of episodes of her show before she went on hiatus, her eyes look bugged out. She looks scared. She looks just weird. And again, a normal person, if they were injured, would maybe take some time off, especially the amount of money she's making. She's not like people that need a paycheck where they have to go to work, you know, or they starve. She's a baller, or alleged baller, so why would you risk going on television, ruining your brand, looking all crazy if you're not thinking right? That's, you know what I mean? So that's my thought on Wendy Williams. Again, I know she's got a huge fan base. I don't really give a shit in regards to, she made a lot of money doing what she does. But on the flip side, when the story is you and then you lie and you look like you're on drugs, what's the difference between you and Whitney Houston, or you and any other abused woman or any other drug addict? Except, you know, or any other woman in a bad relationship who's dealing with her husband cheating on her. So if you're going to talk dirt about these other people, then you need to clean your own shit up. And let's just talk quickly about R. Kelly, another pimp game. What's funny about R. Kelly is I never really liked his music. I never really saw what the big thing was about him. I mean, I remember vaguely, I Believe I Can Fly, and I remember people talking about Trapped in the Closet, and I just thought, who the hell makes a song that lasts that long? I mean, it's like Bye Bye Miss American Pie, but worse. I mean, both songs suck. But regardless of which, he married Aaliyah. Everybody knew about it. She was underage. She was 27. I think she was 14 or 15. Well, when he met her, she was very young. She was definitely in her early teens. But he married her when she was probably 15 or something like that. And the marriage was annulled. And then he supposedly blackballed Aaliyah when her parents made them get an annulment. So he's just another controlling male who uses power and celebrity, and also the parents of some of these ladies taking their daughters to a guy who had a reputation of marrying Aaliyah when she was underage, and everyone knew. But not only that, there was a video of him allegedly peeing in a girl's mouth, and Dave Chappelle even made jokes about R. Kelly on his great show. So everyone knew. And then also, everyone's talking about how he gave people herpes. So I'm like, how many decades does it take for people to figure out, maybe this isn't the right kind of guy to introduce my young daughter or my cousin to. I mean, the parents are in serious jeopardy of they should almost be prosecuted as well as R. Kelly, but just bad judgment. If you know someone's a predator, why would you do that? Except you're just a greedy, disgusting person and you want money and you see your child as a tool to get money. That's nothing new in Hollywood. And there's nothing new, not just in Hollywood, but in different cultures, people give up their children for what they think is a better life. So in the scheme of man and womankind, people will do anything for a cow, for a house, for a career. So what are you going to do? But again, these parents and the family members that brought their nieces over to R. Kelly, you guys are bad, and you should look at yourself. But everyone seems to be making money off the story. Even R. Kelly's music is getting played on certain platforms. But again, our culture loves to... There's a demonization, and there's also a praising of that pimp mentality. You know, especially with men, when they see people getting away with like drugging women, like Bill Cosby, and it turns out Charlemagne the God made jokes about he used to drug girls at parties. And you see these people being successful and for a long time never getting in trouble for it, and just their career just keeps going up and up. I can't stand Charlemagne the God. Never liked him. You know, but it's like when you sell out, you're able to go further, a further career. When there's a real story and there's a real predator, you'd be surprised how many people won't tell the story. They promote the pimp mentality, and they promote criminality of certain cultures if it promotes their agenda, but it doesn't really respect women coming forward and telling their truth unless they can somehow monetize it or put a catchphrase on it that they can monetize themselves, that are still controlling the story, which is unfortunate. To me, R. Kelly is just like the Catholic Church. People know the Catholic Church has had centuries of sexual abuse, but they still bring their kids to Catholic school. And of course, I'm not saying all Catholics are, or all Catholic priests are predators. I'm just saying that it's just interesting that there's a lot of people saying the same story for decades, and people just keep bringing their kids to the predator. So again, we have to take responsibility for what we're listening to and what we worship, whether it be a celebrity or a religion. So yeah, this cult mentality, this pimp mentality is very interesting, and everyone's talking about it. But again, people are making money off of it. It's like this duality thing that happens. They love a negative story, but if there's a way to profit off of it, there's going to be people making profit. And those women that brought their cousins over or their nieces over to R. Kelly are doing these interviews, and the ex-wife of R. Kelly, who probably brought girls to him, probably had sex with young girls with her husband, R. Kelly, is now crying on television looking for sympathy. I can't with these people. You know what I mean? I just can't. So again, this is all just a hodgepodge of bad behavior. But one thing positive about it is at least people are talking about the situation, and then hopefully it's educating people to change their behavior. And another thing is, it made me realize how girls are treated so unfairly when they're young. And I can speak for myself as when I was a young teen and starting to develop, and how many men were after me. And, you know, you're going through puberty. You don't know what's really going on, and you're just happy to be alive, and, you know, you're an attractive person, whatever. And you've got guys from your own age to God knows what, 40 going after you. And you're not thinking, oh my God, this dude's a predator. What I was saying was, you're not thinking this guy's a predator. You're just thinking it's just some guy. So there's a lot of young ladies out there who are called fast or are overly criticized by their moms and other women, and really abused by our culture for going through puberty, and then also copying the fashions that we're brainwashed with. And I just think our culture treats girls very, very abusively. You do not respect girls. You abuse young ladies. If a child doesn't want to hug someone, you push them to hug someone, which you're teaching these young kids at an early age that they don't have autonomy to their own body, that someone else controls them and controls their body and makes them do things. And why don't you hug that person? You know, and then the parents that push their children onto adults because they're too busy to take care of them. Oh my God. I mean, people should really think about having children. If you don't have the time, the mental capacity, the love, the financial stability, and the mental health, don't have children, please. There's just too many abused, addicted young people who turn into older people who have children, run around destroying the world. And R. Kelly, based on some stories I heard, he's an abused person abusing other people, and that whole thing needs to stop. So I wish mothers would not try to control their daughters so much, and they treat them differently than they treat their boys. It's really very strange. It's almost like the moms hate the daughters. It's like a chemistry thing, a hormonal thing, and an envy thing. I'm not saying all the time, but there just seems to be this dynamic, a reverse Oedipus complex. But it just seems women are treated differently than men are, definitely. But also as young children, boys normally have a totally different freedom, and they're expected to be predators. They're expected to go after girls, and girls are supposed to be like virgins. And even though we're in America, most of the people watching this are in America, but there's people all over the world, hello, I'm watching this too. But people try to act like America is so open-minded, yet it really isn't. It's very chauvinistic and very misogynistic, and you know, it's a lot of hating women. You know, it's a lot about controlling women, and guys feeling like they have right to touch, to grab them by the pussy, to seduce, to try to get drunk chicks. And that we're your sexual playthings, that you can do whatever you want. And if we don't like you, oh my God, you guys can't handle that shit. You want to get abusive. So it's a very, very strange mix that's going on. So I wish we can have a deeper conversation about healing that. And the guys would take responsibility, and parents would take responsibility on educating their sons how to be better men. And it's not okay to be predators. It's not okay to abuse women. And I'm sure you guys might be saying, there's women that abuse men. It's not right either way, but we have to have a conversation. In regards to this whole R. Kelly thing, stop giving your young children to predators. Stop it. And do something about it. After 30 years of being a predator, put the motherfucker in jail. Take him to court, even though he's rich, even though that's the other funny thing. Celebrities, they're able to afford lawyers that'll get them off because they have money. And the lawyers want to get paid. And also, the criminal justice system gets paid because the rich criminal has to pay the court fees. I mean, poor people have to pay court fees too, but you can make more money off of celebrity probably than you can make off of one poor person. So we need to change the justice system, to make it more equal. But with as much evidence they have on R. Kelly, just like all the evidence they had on Cat Williams, all the evidence they had on Suge Knight, all the evidence they had on Bill Cosby, all the evidence they have on Harvey Weinstein, all the evidence they have on Kevin Spacey, all the evidence they had on Brett Ratner, all the evidence they had on Bryan Singer. But because, famous directors don't get caught, people have to step up. Don't just make money off of Lifetime. Don't just bitch and complain, but step up. There's a lot of people that know what happens in Hollywood, but they keep their mouth shut because they're getting paid. They're getting paid the big bucks. They're getting insurance, So they're willing to work for very, very bad people because they're getting paid a lot of money. And that's just the way it is. So a lot of you same people that love R. Kelly are the same people that love TMZ. And you don't have a clue how much Harvey Levin helped Donald Trump. And the connection between the Kardashians being in the White House. When I say the Kardashians, I include Kanye because he's technically a Kardashian. Why Kim Kardashian and Kanye Kardashian were in the White House, and the connection between Harvey Levin, Kris Kardashian, and Donald Trump. Y'all don't want to know about that. So, again, we got to take responsibility instead of just being happy when someone is getting the heat. So anyway, thanks for watching. This is Kattalestv. Laters. Leave a comment down below. I can only imagine. Bye.